Hello.
I got bamboozled by a meme. Also, hi there, Purple Defiler. Welcome to the stream. And then there's also Baddie Princess from like 10 hours ago. Nice! 50% himbo, 60% cute. Absolutely fantastic. Good job. Alright, Wednesday, 12 p.m. is when I need to be. Should I have gone to the bathroom ahead of time? Actually, yeah, that might be a good time to do that. there's still advertisement going off. There's still a countdown. I reckon I can get my bathroom break done in 2 minutes. And no one would be the wiser. None of you. You won't hear me shitting or anything. Alright. Now I'm here. Have no fear, because I am here. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday for me. It might be Sunday for some of you peeps. Welcome. I will need to give some clarification for some people, because some people might get a little upsetties. Hi, Fakovia! Did you wash your hands? Yes. Yes, I washed my hands. Don't be ridiculous. I am not a messy zebra. Ow! I said I washed my hands!
29-month tier 1 sub. Gimme cookie.
I can't give you cookie because someone decided to kill me after thinking I would lie to them about washing my hands. How dare you? How dare you? I demand a refund! How dare you? So yeah, so as I mentioned in a tweet like last night, the only guarantee you will have me streaming is... Oh, thank you for the gifted sub to Sashera. She'll love it. Thank you so much, Meeps. Thank you for being subscribed for like the last 29 months as well. I really appreciate it. Have a cookie. There you go. There's your cookie. There's your cookie. Thank you for the 69 bits. But yeah, as I mentioned on a tweet, the only guarantee that I'm going to be streaming is Friday night, because that's D&D night with Code the Yoshi, and sometimes he streams the D&D night as well. So, and I didn't want to give up on that one, as it would be like basically my last day before the Christmas and New Year, where I would be with family, and I would have no time between Christmas Eve and New Year's Day to stream or anything like that. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw this week up in the air. Maybe I'll randomly stream a Tuesday afternoon again or something like that. Or maybe I'll be streaming like every day this week. Or maybe I'll stream at midnight. Or maybe I won't stream at all until Friday. Like, this might be the last time you see me outside of Friday, and then for the rest of the year. You don't know. Who knows? I don't. Not until the day happens. And all of this, so then that way I can play fucking God of War whenever I feel like it. I will be real with you. I very much wanted to play God of War offline because it has like the rogue-like elements and shit. But, you know, it's got like, you know, the next mission is where is it? Tell me the next mission. Goals. Here we go. Start another attempt when ready. With Tyr's counsel, I have begun to re-examine my past. Returning to him is a hard road, but the process leaves me feeling like my process is earned. And there's all these different masteries I gotta try and do. So, labor mastery, shield. Okay, I need to use the onslaught shield next. So there's like all kinds of things I need to work on. How's my day been? My day has technically just started. Like, sure, it's 1 PM right now, but I slept in, and my dad got rid of my, old couch, which is nice. Ooh, what's this? Increase spirit seals on attempt. Pressing RZO to activate the relic. Create a shockwave that deals high stun to surrounding enemies. I'll give that a try, then. Alright, onslaught shield. Getting more mastery seals, which is what I want. Wrath. I'm pretty sure I've done all the Spartan ones, if I'm correct. You're happy to have gotten to spend this much time with me? Aw, thank you, Ernezak. I appreciate it. Alright, Rage Mastery wants me to defeat them with Legacy and Valor. What do I have equipped right now? Okay, so Legacy is the last one. So Valor is the health, Legacy is the thingy. So I've already done it all with... Wrath is just for the additional seals. So we might make this one like just a bum run or something like that, where it's just to get some seals of spirits and masteries and what have you. So... Alright, here we go. Just need to familiarize myself with the controls yet again. Return to Gunir. Oh, yeah, because I've done all the shield thingamadiggies.
We keep going back in. I take it this process is working for you somehow.
Yes.
Succeed or fail, I feel progress, clarity. I need to see it through.
Very good, brother.
Nice. Drastically increase the power of the running chaos. Axe combo finishers automatically awaken. Stun grabbing an enemy grants a rage burst. Let's go with the spear again. So there's our mural. Nothing new there. We got the key from the boatman earlier in like a previous run, so I'm wondering when that's gonna pop up in our little... It'll like, hey, you got stuff to do. Easy. Alright, what does the glyph give us? Okay, I don't know which one of these I have not yet gotten. Hi there, Nax, solve all puzzles by axe to the fakes. Well, I'm using the spear because that is the Spartan's weapon. I think I've not used... Wait, is this the one? Have I used this one before? Yeah, I think I used that one before, so we'll grab Hundra's Charge. Yeah, alright, so Thrust of 1,000 Soldiers, Finger of Ruin, Honor the Fallen. I need to remember those for the spear. And then this gives me, let's see, after returning from rage, gain a brief buff to strength, defense, and runic and stagger resistance. Have a high to increase the... I'm gonna go with the Raging Aftermath, because the Path of the Spear is giving me, like, burst thingy-madiggies when I stun lock, or when I do a stun grab on people with the spear. So I need to remember to do that. Oh! That's a shield.
An infamous act. One they still spoke of in the years of rebuilding. I somehow doubted they meant it so literally.
I'll give you this, brother. Your technique has improved immeasurably.
I needed his power to secure my vengeance against the gods. I believed I had no choice.
No choice? You could have not ripped my head off my body. That was absolutely an option.
And he's back.
But that wasn't the worst of it, was it, Kratos? Killing you deprived Greece of the sun. They were plunged into perpetual cold and darkness. Crops ceased to grow. Famine descended on our homeland.
He's angry.
Okay.
Enough.
He is bitter, isn't he?
Is there anything in this room? No, I just have this pool reflecting like all of Kratos' like wrongdoing in the past, and he's having to like come to terms with some of this nonsense. Boy, hi there, Make Us DJ. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well.
To behead Helios.
Do I have a moderator in my chat who can shout out Make Us DJ?
Is really just a means to an end.
Ooh, decreases the healing from Thingy-Madiggy's gears, disables the use of resurrection stones.
He was as insufferable as any god.
Shout out Make Us, because I believe
Satisfaction.
Make Us DJ still
Did you
does
know
streaming.
what would happen as a result?
Some fleeting echoes will be lost whenever they're hit by an enemy. Oh, I don't like that one. I tried that. It's not fun.
Not restored until his return. I knew exactly what would happen.
Alright, sorry, I just have to... Okay, so that gives me a stat increase. That's to buy echoes. Oh, that gave me mastery seals. Nice. Alright, so... That one gives me echoes. What does this door give me? And I can't jump. Ow!
Make underscore us with the 7-month
Thank
tier
you!
1 sub.
Oh, hang on. Can I go down there? Oh, yeah, I can. Okay. Thank you so much for the 7 months. You don't have to deal with advertisement when they pop up once an hour or more, and you get to utilize, like, all the emotes that you've been able to get up to this point. Do you have a favorite yet? This is a very important question. Oh, there's a door down here. I didn't realize there was a door down here. Alright, let's check out this weapon. Hilt of the Daneslelf. It's now unlocked at the shore. Nice. And then... I had another key, so I'm going to use that here. And it gives us a suit of armor, I think. Nice new profile pic. Thank you. Mudasaur was the artist responsible for that really cool piece of artwork. They did like a full body. You can check it out on their Twitter. And that one is just, and so I loved it. And I was like, you know what? For a little bit of the Christmas time, we're gonna have that as our profile icon for a little bit. Because Christmas time in Australia is summer.
Watch your left! Cover! The wee bastard's about to explode!
Oh, god dang it. There we go.
Behind you, watch out! Behind you, incoming!
Ow, no, don't knock me on the head. I need my head. What are you doing, little Incineroar? Why you gotta hit me on the head like that? Alrighty, so we get ourselves some echoes. Okay, we don't get a lot, but still, it's better than, like, normally the tiddly amount that I get. Alrighty. You do it for the emotes, and it's the ass. Thank you. Alrighty. So, choose one of two rewards. Weapon and stat. Alright, let's go with weapon. We're gonna, because we need more available to us. Stat, we're kind of fine for. Momentous shift. Activating a violent maelstrom triggers a realm shift. While the skill gauge is fully charged, spear combos and evades create whirlwinds. Let's go with this one. Let's go with the whirlwinds. Yep, so that gets rid of that chest there. Next room. Back to Asgard.
Kratos, I hope you'll forgive me for overhearing. But before you first found your way to me, you were grappling with the symbolism of your former seat of power. May I offer a perspective?
You may.
Before I became God of War, I felt as hesitant as you do. I feared that taking the throne would only validate Odin's power higher, which even then I didn't trust. But I decided I could wield a better influence on the inside than on the outside. There are many ways to lead. Not all of them involve ruling. The throne and the office are only what you bring to them.
Okay.
A little boost this time around, maybe.
Blessing of Strength. I think I only have so many glyphs, though, so... Won't upgrade. I'm not gonna upgrade those. Alright, so our options are... Oh, there's a skull door. Interesting. Hang on a second. I'm gonna go with that one. Alright. Yep, okay, so that just leads to a mastery seal of some sort. You're gonna get flashbanged a lot, by the way.
Behind you, incoming! Impressive! Bifrost everywhere! Valhalla's got a bounty on that one. Be wary of that tail.
Ow! I thought I blocked it. Sorry, bird. What do you think of the latest post in the server? Hang on. I don't know what server. Are you talking about like a Twitch thingy-majiggy, or there's a newer post?
Be wary of that tail.
There we go.
That's the one you needed.
Nice. What do you think of the latest post on the server? Okay, are you talking in general, you mean? You off for Christmas? Yes, I'm off for Christmas. Yes. Got family to see in... this week and until the New Year's. Alrighty, Fearless, Thingy-Diggy, and a Gift of Strength. Hippolyte's lunge, so that's sprinting, and the thingy applies more suns and have a moderate luck chance to grant an unstoppable aura. Yes, please. But yeah. The one before it, the one that Ari wrote about, everything in there, I agree with that they've talked about, because I have this annoyance with the because this kind of gets hit with the furry community, and to some extent can also deal with Twitch and what have you, but one of the things they mentioned in the end was this idea of like, oh, some people believe that you can't be like negative, like you can't be like negative to someone, like tell them off or something like that, because that's apparently toxic negativity and what have you, but that's not the case. Like toxic negativity is when you're like repeatedly putting them down or some shit like that. Whereas the opposite, which is what we're getting with the furry community and with some fandoms, is the idea that, oh, there's nothing wrong. This, like, you just lie to your view, like, you lie to the people of, like, oh, you're, like, whatever is going on in your community is infallible to you or something, or rather, and it's not your fault or something. It's like, no, there are aspects of the furry community and such like that that I don't like. I meant to say in the not safe for work channel. Oh. I thought you were talking about the general. We don't talk about the not safe for work channel in this game. Let's just work with him.
Everything got through! Why is our hair standing on end? Everything got through! He's about to trounce it.
There's probably like a technique I need to learn with this guy, but I am not bothering. Oop. Well, I cleared that.
What kind of son of Thor out of your memory of all things?
Winter's Bite. Sure. I don't think I've gotten that before. Zeus's armor? Why the fuck would I get Zeus's armor? Jesus. Moderately restore the health, or give us a blessing of honor. I'm gonna go with a blessing. We could very easily just get healing in other fashions. Plus, I'm still in the thingy-majiggy that gives me, like, reduced healing and what have you. Relic swaps. Let's see. Turn Mimir's discomfort into a Bifrost Blast against nearby enemies. Applies a mark to nearby. Attacking a mark reduces runic cooldown. Let's give the Sindri, cannon thingy-majiggy a try. Ow.
Guess you're not done with me yet, Kratos.
Alright. This is hell.
And lest we forget, Kratos, lest we neglect to place your deed in full and proper context, I saved your life. Me! And you literally tore off my head for my troubles. Imagine if all your new friends knew how you used to treat your old friends. Of course, you're not the same man, right? Now, you only get your friends killed through lack of foresight. Far easier to blame others that way, am I right?
Yeah, he's a bit mad.
I know you are a projection of the mind. But for what it is worth, the death I gave you was unjust.
Oh, how touching. Yeah. Not actually worth the spittle it took to mumble that out. Not.
I'll get the drop near thingamadoogie. It might be
Nobody wants to
useful.
hear that from you.
And let's get the spear attachment. The DLC is rogue-like. The same way as Hades? Yeah, same way as Hades. They are a lot more... I'll be real. It feels a lot more successful going through the roguelike in God of War than it does in Hades, for me, personally. And I think that's just because of a factor of the roguelike, it has good mechanic and what have you, and that's, like, if you don't have good mechanics in the roguelite, or roguelike, you are going to be in for a bad time, and you're probably not going to want to go very further. This game has good mechanics, but that's not the reason you go through this DLC. It's not for the combat, it's for... Because this is technically an epilogue to the God of War Ragnarok storyline. So if you haven't seen God of War Ragnarok or played it, then I'd recommend not viewing this, because it's we got Helios on our belt rather than Mimir, but we're probably going to get like more information about where God of War is going to be going and such like that, and make reference to the past. I very much want to know what's happened to Sindri. I don't know if we're going to get that in this DLC, but I would really love that. Alright. Back at the chain. And that is an object of our judgment, which is...
A little something to remember by. I truly hope it brings you unrelenting torment.
Ah. You just started the first one today. Ah.
Chills you just a little when they do that, doesn't it?
Probably not best that you continue watching. I'm sorry, Makus.
Judgment.
Alright, time to move on. So we've got Helios's shield. A memory to something. Go, and then... more labors we can take on. Roll dodging inflicts the frost effect on Kratos. 3 encounters, weaken damage. I'm gonna go with this one because we can get through 3 encounters in this section alone, I feel. Alright. Alright, here we go. Oh. There's only forward. Okay. Where does it want us going? Alrighty, no timer on this one just yet. Here we go. Oh, thank you for the follow there, Elijah Drago. Sorry, I had to read that really quickly, so I don't know if I got that correctly.
Race. Oh, misty, slippery bastards, haven't you? Still a monster, I see.
There we go, come on. Yes!
Kindly not get frozen.
There we go. Hopefully this will get them killed. Yes, it does, and I get a burst of health for that.
On your left.
No, get off me. Do not kill me.
Incoming dive. Right flank.
Ah! I'll take that as a dot. Like, that's fine. We didn't mean to go that far anyway, so... Hi. I hope there's a reprisal of Zeus's Wrath Divine somewhere in there. Well, one of the rages you can get is you can get, like, the Blade of Olympus.
Well, together again. The hard way.
Back on the shore we are.
Valhalla demands the willingness to embrace discomfort.
Noted. Alright, we got new chest armor. So we've got Zeus. That weird looking thingy. Lustrous straps. Let's see. Flawless of Zeus. Those apparently are found in Valhalla. Curious, risen, thingy. Let's just go with the shoulder guards of survival, because survival is a good one. Dun 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 dun. It honestly looks cool, and I was kind of done with the woe of Sparta, like, looking so gloomy. Like, Kratos can wear some good shit now. The song Zeus's Wrath Divine. I am not certain, I will be real with you. Could be anyone's guess about that one, I'll be real. Alright. So yeah, that only changes appearance. That doesn't do anything about the actual stat line or anything like that, so... And I'm a very basic bitch when it comes to, how I want Kratos to look.
Gunnar.
This boon is yours. It's more than practicing techniques, isn't it? You're practicing an art.
Thank you.
Ready for a little more of my life story?
Tell me more.
I was in the fight of my life with the thugs who burned down my father's inn. Suddenly there's this sound, this flapping of feathers, and who should appear but Sigrun herself. Not yet queen, but by reputation, the best fighter the Valkyries had in memory.
Ooh, nice.
I was awestruck. She was confused. The violence, the mayhem she sensed, she expected to follow it to a battlefield full of honored dead, not a hideout in the slums. I apologized to her for not sending worthier souls to Valhalla, and Sigrun offered to take me under her very impressive wing. But we'll cover that part next time, alright?
Nice. I don't have 100% context to how anyone turns into Valkyries in the
It's encouraging
lore.
to know Valhalla wants to help.
Increase the number of reroll tokens you start each attempt with. Let you refresh glyph awards to see more options. That's cool, but let's go with this one. Because, there we go, start each attempt with 1 resurrection stone. We can start each attempt with a 2nd resurrection stone. Swear we had those. Alright. Regenerates 3% of his health when looting thingamajiggy tests. Alright, we don't have any more master seals for that. Let's just do that then. Any improvements to the stats? No, none. Same for the glyph. don't know if I want to waste my thingy-majiggies on those. Alright, what does this give us? Low chance for glyph rewards from chests and rifts to offer 3 choices instead of 2. A lower chance for burdens to offer 3 chance, moderate, high chance. Increase the number of glyphs sold by the Tablet of Endeavors in the lower realms and the upper realms. Small chance, very high chance. You know what? Let's go with the glyph upgrade thingy-majiggy. Get that out of our way. I think we're really close to getting that to 1,000. Yeah, that gets it all the way upgraded. A moderate chance for glyph upgrades to offer 3 rather than 2. Low chance for the light runic attacks to already be upgraded. Sounds good to me. I'll throw that on there. Alright. Another run then.
Maintain your courage. Don't waste it. And most importantly, don't forget to adapt.
I cannot use that hilt, so we'll just stick to the high stun thingy-majiggy. Alright, so we've used the onslaught. Defeat Tyr with the Stonewall Shield. Alright, so we haven't defeated Tyr with the Stonewall, with the onslaught, or the Spartan thing. Alright, so we're gonna go with the Stonewall. Hopefully this time we'll go all the way through. Yeah! Alright, so that's Valor. Hello? Oop.
Sigrun, inside we encountered a son of Thor.
It wouldn't really be him in there, I can assure you. You have a memory of a past fight, and I'm sure Valhalla takes advantage.
But why him?
I don't think that's for me to say.
Well, something for us to ponder in between melees.
Actually, yeah, why Modi? Because we killed Magni. Modi wasn't our kill. Like, why are we thinking about why is Valhalla giving us Modi instead of Magni? That's a weird one. Alright. Let's open this. Drastically increases the power of the Frost Rush and the Leviathan Rush. What's that one? While sprinting. Okay. Holding ciphers an element. They do elemental damage, can be thrown into Pale. The element is lost on using Runic Spear or after combat ends. Let's go with the Axe Rush. You killed Magni. No, I'm pretty sure... Like, we killed the one that was, like, voiced by, Troy Baker or something like... Like, we killed the one that was the we killed Blondie. We didn't kill the dude with the shield and the hammer, I'm pretty sure. Absolute Resolve. Sprinting gives a short in the next melee attack after returning from a rage. Yeah, let's go with that one. Because the Valor is going to heal us, so we're probably going to use that more in case of emergencies. Mists of... Oh, shit. Which one did I not use yet? Yeah, I think I used that one already, so we're going to use the Breath. Yay, I got that right. Alrighty. Back to...
Tyr, earlier you spoke to me as though I seek to lead. As if I were someone to be followed.
Your self-criticisms, valid and otherwise, seem well reflected here in Valhalla. It's no accident that your mind manifested that throne. It's more than a symbol. It's a challenge to revisit your assumptions. Mimir is right. You have the power, and I think the wisdom, to redefine what it means to you. To assert that power is to prove to yourself that the chair doesn't.
Oh yeah, I need to double check chest.
Make you a new person.
Yep,
Not if
there
you
we go.
know who you are, why you serve.
Go. Don't pop up. Alright, so we need to buy keys next to that. Oh! Oh, someone followed me on coffee. Thank you. I don't do much on that coffee, however, I'm sorry to say. It's just there as like an alternative form of supporting me and such, which I don't really have a good... I don't have a good system of like, incentivization and what have you.
Good show!
And bam. There we go. Ah, yes, the three whatsamahoozies. Alrighty, so we need to find the 3 symbols. Ooh! I'll take this. Thank you. Alright, so we need to find, like, 3 random stones. Or cauldrons or something. And we need to, like, light up braziers or something, or rather.
More enemies lurking in the mist, I presume. Left flank!
That, Rage Aftermath, and a Daze Resistance. Oh, these guys give me more days. That's it. Hi there, furry cures. Less philosophy, more murder. Yes, will do. Give me a minute. There we go. Open this up. We'll get to more murdering. Don't you worry. This is God of War. We can be both incisive and murdery. Now, do you see any like? Ah, here we go. Ooh, hang on. So there's the first one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, so we got about 15 seconds to ring them all. That's a bit of a long wait. I don't like that time length because it tells me that they're not going to be close together, is what it seems like. And because of them, like, hanging... Oh, hello. A lot of these chests. How's it going, Furry Cures? I'm on vacation now. I will do however I want with my streaming schedule and what have you. Alrighty, so... Oh, there's the 3 of them there. Okay, cool, so... Oh, that's... There we go. I thought they wouldn't be that close together. Alright, Leviathan Crests, that's fine. Those are actually useful for getting Kumadugis, and... I'm guessing we only... Yeah, we only pick one. Alright, so that is... Stat. Perk. Echoes. Let's go perk. We still got room for perks. Takes reduced damage and has increased stagger during his basic attacks and skills. Hasten the expiration. Alright, let's go with the aggressor's resolve. Alright, that locks the other 2. And we move on to the next door. I'm still trying to find, like, there's one more door I need to go through called, like, the miscellaneous or something. Like, that's one of the, travel master. Here we go. So we need to go through a refill and a mixed. And I've not yet seen either of those kinds of doors yet.
But Sigrun, I'm still waiting for the part where you spoke.
In my defense, I only told her the truth as it struck me in the moment. I told her my feelings for her were deep as Ram's Hall and had been for as long as I'd known her. But just then a kind of revelation came over me. Sudden cold clarity that it was vanity to imagine that I, as I am, could be enough for her as she is.
Ooh.
So I heard myself tell her that I didn't think I could give her what she needed.
Now, I am mad at you.
Oh, no. Mimir, you were... God, okay. So, Mimir, like, sure, he's just ahead. But come on. Like, you were dealing with... Like, you had a love interest, and she loved you, all right? Like, at the moment of, like, thinking that Ragnarok was going to be upon us all and there would have been, like, no other chance to, like, be with you and such like that, she wanted to be with you, and she, like, wanted to hear your stories and shit. Like, she loved you. You didn't have to... Like, who else could there be for her, quite frankly?
Behind you! Look out! Right side!
There we go, and then...
Behind you! Incoming!
Nice. Yeah, but you were severed head on my belt now, so... Yeah, but he doesn't need to be with us all the time. He could have been with... He had an opportunity to, you know, have more in this world. And he said no. He was afraid that who he wasn't enough. Like, sure, like, a little bit, but that should only be a fear for when you want to confess or anything like that. She confessed to you. Mimir And also Queen of the Valkyries, like, come on. Yay, we're back in Vanaheim.
You told Sigrun you could not give her what she needed. You spoke out of cowardice.
Aye, obviously. But as prospects for terror go, can you imagine knowing all along you're not enough for someone? And then living out
Cookie.
the full realization of that truth? I admit it chilled me to the bone.
You presume to know how she will feel in the future. Why discredit her wishes and yours in the present?
I just can't pretend not to know better. She's romanticized the idea of us. Certainly I've done the same. But is that anything to build a future on? I mean, look at me, brother. Be practical.
If anyone else disparaged you as you disparaged yourself, I would wish to strike them with an axe.
Yeah. Alright, so a tracking that ricochets between targets. And it deals more damage as we... Alright, I'm going to throw an upgrade on that one, because I'm hoping that one... Because it doesn't have any stun. Between marked by press... Yeah, alright, so I just need to press that, like, repeatedly then. I'm trying to find this mixed door, but it's not popping up. Go. Got him.
Behind you!
Oh, I still had encounters with that burden.
Behind you! Watch out!
Alright, this a little bit of health. Yes, it does.
Behind you, brother!
There we go.
Well done, brother. You've withstood the burden.
Yay, we withstood the burden. Alrighty, Blessing of Virtue. That gives us more in the cooldown and everything else, which is great. And now we go through, like, the final major door.
Left flank!
I believe your target's on the battlefield there. Right side.
Behind you! Look out!
Oh, yep, there we go.
Behind you, brother!
There we go.
Brilliant kill. Valhalla will be impressed.
I am brilliant. Alrighty. On to our next task.
The way up should be clear now. Whenever you're ready.
Can I... Do I have a key? No, I
Need
do
to
not.
bargain our way through that one.
Yep, and I don't have a key for that one. Alright, moving on. Down here. Down here. Yep, don't have a chest there. Doors aren't available there. So we move on to Valhalla's next thingy-dig. Yeah, because I don't have any other chests. So moving on. Oh god, fuck you. Alright, let's see if this kills... No, I won't kill him, but... Close! Got him. Who was that guy? I must admit, fighting the leader of the Coal Raiders again was a battle I did not mind revisiting. As the leader of his band of wolf eaters, he deserves every death I can give him. I am pleased we were able to rescue Specky and Svana from him so long ago. They miss you nearly as much as I do. Nice. Yeah, here we go, Modi. It's hard to see any similarities between Modi and his sister Thrud. She shares none of his cruelty, nor his cowardice. I know you still harbor much guilt over his killing, as do I for my role in it. Like his brother, Valhalla manifests him from my memory to fight once again. There's the Drakey, there's the Miklu something or other. Sort of be put in a... and then the Hateful. Alright, nice. So... Alright, let's see, what is this? What options do we have here? Blessing. Yeah, we're gonna go for a Blessing with this Endurance. It gives us cooldown and defense, which is pretty decent. And this gives us... We're not using the relic that often. The sword unleashes power from the souls within. Grants a bonus to melee for a short time. No. I've not used my thingy-majiggy that often, and I probably should a little more.
Kratos, about this boat captain. If you needed his key to save others, why does it seem to bother you so? Your actions in this case seem justified.
The captain was swallowed by the Hydra before I was able to kill it. When I entered its maw to retrieve the key, the captain had somehow survived, dangling over a fall that would surely kill him. I saw the terror in his eyes as he fought to hold on, and in relief, I would save him. Instead, I took the key and dropped him to his death. And it was all for nothing. The women were dead by the time I reached them.
Yeah. God of War 1, like, there was a lot of death that happened that was, like, at first used for, like, comedic reasons. But then when you, like, you know, just look at it at a distance, it's like, yeah, this guy died and he didn't deserve it. Alright, cool. No one else here. Shame about that. Nice. What's this?
Let's see. Specific feats that Valhalla is prepared to reward, is it?
Trip. How the fuck am I supposed to trip enemies? Oh, my Leviathan axe can do that. I just need to aim at their feet. Just need to remember to aim at their feet and we should be good. Although we're doing it at a bit of a dangerous place.
I'm back to brighten your day.
Alright, come on. Let's do the next one. There we go. 4 trips remaining.
Disrupted you halfway. It's in the ground!
Alright. So I can trip up.
Incoming dive!
Yep.
A Minotaur. Now we'll see who's half a man. It's charging at us. I'm behind you. Still a monster, I see. Try another weapon, idiot.
Come on, punch him. Break him. Yeah. God. I love the Greek what's-mahoozies that are introduced now. I like the DLC introducing us new monsters from the Greek mythology rather than just sticking to all the Norse stuff we've been getting. Incoming would be lethal. That would be lethal is instead restored by available rage. Nice. Alright. H Valhalla chosen slang greatly increases the amount of fleeting gold. Yep. Alrighty. Alright. We've got things to There we go. I am wasting my time. I need to be going a little bit quicker now. Go. Alright.
Kill the thing someone told you to kill. Yay!
Alright, I need to find thingy-majiggies. So I've got 1 of 5 right now. Go.
That must be the one Valhalla considers a challenge.
Oh, yes! I love that they give me the fucking date. There we go. Alright, and then this gives me poison. Cool. New arena, the Aegean boat can be found in the East Wing. I have no clue what that is. While wielding the axe, stun grabbing an enemy gives a blessing of cooldown. Blessing of taking damage, block, and all have a moderate luck chance to cause a dealing damage and restoring a relic charge. I'm gonna go with the blessing. There we go. Alright, hopefully I'm going the right way for a... There we go. Combo finishes have high to increase and stagger distance. Alright, let's go with this one. I don't know which way is east, which is probably going to be a problem. Hey! That's what we want. Alrighty. Let's give this a try. While it's still, like... Alright, let's see what this is like.
Ah, maximum challenge, maximum reward. Oh, not the song attack! Untether yourself, man!
Ah, yes, Daze is gonna be good. There we go.
Undead warriors? Valhalla? Seems superfluous, but alright. Watch from underneath! Line behind you! Incoming back here! Behind you, incoming!
And here we go. A lot of killing we do.
Right flank!
There we go. Silver tier. Okay, so we didn't go very far, is the problem. That's not bad. Like, we got silver tier at
Could
least.
have broken the mast and skewered all their heads with it.
Wow, isn't it? Combo finishers do increased damage. Mountain splitter. I think I've got... Let's go with combo finishers. Time extended. There we go. Okay, that's pretty cool. The Asian Sea is pretty cool to add in on. Now I just need to find more, more chosen. Maybe if I was able to get down like more tiers, I would have gotten like more of the Valhalla stuff.
Let them hit us with!
Laser poison!
Say what? Left side, murderer! Only getting harder as you delay, Kratos.
Yeah, I know.
Now that's the Kratos that brought down Atlas.
Activating Spartan Rage triggers a realm shift, temporarily slowing down surrounding enemies. When drops to grants a short invisible barrier, buff strength and health burst when complete. Alright, let's try that one. Time is extended. It's still at a level 2, unfortunately. Go. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. And there. Alright. Next thing. Finger of Ruin, Thrust of 1,000 Soldiers. Okay, I think Thrust of 1,000 Soldiers was what I need next. Yes, it was. Excellent. Alrighty. Now for the... Now to try and find the next, thingy-ma-dig. What's-ma-who's-its. Oh, we're going up. Oh, we can't go that way. Never mind. Darn, was hoping we could. Go. Hey, there's one. Why were you so hard to look for? Gosh darn it.
You know that winged creature with the trident?
There we go.
Attack at your back!
Ah, darn it, the enemy difficulty.
Did you forget haste is a factor here?
No, I did not forget haste was a factor here. Get off my case. There we go. So that's you out of the way. Where is the white elf?
Incoming! Back here! That's it. You've opened a way forward with a blood-soaked and savage way.
Helios doesn't seem to appreciate... No, because we ripped his head off. Back in the Greek trilogy of God of War, we ripped his head off. Has a luck to cran to... Nah, I don't throw very often, so... Alright, we've got our 5 whatsamahoozy things. Do we have... And then... Grab some echoes, open this. Because I don't want to increase the difficulty too much, but I do want to have a little... This is the problem. I want to explore this place a little bit, but it's like... I don't want to, like, fuck up my chances in trying to get through to other places. Alright, that's 5,000 echoes. Jesus Christ. 250. Alright, let's go with this easy one.
Oh, don't hurry up and make a decision on my account.
Gives us a gold perk. On damage, has a luck chance to gain defense, and for his next shield strike, hits to restore health. The chance increases with lower health. Yep. Easily going with that one. What's this one? Oh, it would have given us... Alright, let's go with this one. It gives us a perfect perk, which apparently will be good. Drastically increases Kratos' defense when he's above 75% health. Last range shift. Yep, let's go with the realm shift thing. Because if we can time that evade, we should be good. What's this one? 500 echoes. Yep. Push back with the Florence and grants an aura protection. Chakrams. Alright, let's go with this one. Let's go with the hilt. There we go. Alright. Cookie for the Hawaiian pizza!
Oh, hello, brother.
Hi, Tyr.
Good to see you again.
You're getting a more gold on you. What's up with that?
I have another cherished weapon from my travels to show you. Ready to see?
Oh! Oh, those are kukri. Not kukris. Fuck, the Egyptian shit.
Incoming!
Ow.
Concentrate, Kratos.
What the hell? Oh, because his eye has like the fucking Bifrost shit in it. God damn it.
Win. Show me. Be ready. About to go the distance, I hope. Behind you, incoming!
Ooh. Oh, days. Nice.
Defend yourself. Just a subtle shift in weight.
No. Don't you fucking dare.
Tell me, Kratos, truly, how did it feel to plunge your homeland into darkness?
I did not intend the land to suffer, but I was indifferent, consumed only by rage and retribution.
That is not what I asked. How did it feel, in that moment, your soul given over to darkness, bringing a darkness over everything you could see?
It felt true.
Your curve. Get out of the darkness, brother.
Don't you dare.
Arms up.
Oh. Cookie for Bookie. I'm a bit busy right now, I'm sorry to say.
Behind you, incoming. Darkness come. Your curve. You better get into the light, brother. Trust your instincts, Kratos.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Be ready. Darkness come. Your curve. There's light over there, brother.
No. I am going to survive this.
Behind you, watch out. Defend yourself.
Yes! And he grabs the fist.
I yield. I yield.
Oh, you don't have the, Interesting. You don't have the glowy fists now. You had them at the start, but you don't have them now.
I don't think you were indifferent, Kratos. I think you were hurt. Deeply hurt. And you handled it unskillfully.
Okay. Is that Helios's voice actor from the same as the original? I don't know.
You took Helios's chariot and put the sun back in the sky, but sacrificed yourself in the process.
Yes. I fell to my death and was saved by Helios. But this memory happened before I killed him. My evils were yet to come. What is the point?
That your legacy has always been a complicated one. That goodness is not a destination we arrive at, but a practice. Misfortune may drive anyone to darkness. We resist it only through wisdom and vigilance. You are not so unskillful now as you were then. Better voices in your head, you might call it. I think that's enough for now. You have much to contemplate.
Yes.
That's a nice little callback when he's like, more voices in your head.
Kratos.
Because
See you soon.
what's happened is in God of War, a lot of the time it was like, oh, Athena was kind of the voice in our head trying to tell us that we needed to do something in order to like free Greece and shit like that, and that did a whole disaster and shit. So we went into the Norse mythology, so God of War 2016 or 2019 or whatever. Kratos very much wanted no one demanding him or ordering him to do things and such like that. So ideally it was only his voice in his head at that point. In God of War Ragnarok, both him and Atreus made a promise that while they weren't together, that Atreus would seek Kratos' voice when in guidance and such, and Kratos would do the same for Atreus' voice. And Atreus is very much someone that is very empathetic and such, more so than Kratos is, and like a little more childish, sure, but you know, it's giving Kratos a reason to think of the others and have this sort of feelings. Hey, we got new upgrades for the axe and the blades. Nice.
It seems like you're making progress, whatever you're doing in there.
Perhaps.
Listen, I know I made you feel like we expected more of you than you could give. And I just want you to know, I'm not asking you to change how you are or who you are. We had to break the old world to build a new one. Picking up the pieces and putting them together stronger. It's a rare opportunity. You made a difference here. In some circles, a symbol of change. On many days, just knowing that you're a part of the Council is enough.
And other days?
You've earned a voice. How you use it is up to you.
Cool. Nice. Alrighty.
Focus is paying off.
Oh, we got a thingamadiggy with her this time. Nice.
Shield Maiden.
Use this. To be adaptable is to master the unexpected.
Mastery task
I'd
completed.
like to tell you a story that I think will help you along your path.
Alright, we'll listen to your stories after we listen to the other women's stories. Alright, drop near spear. Get you looking even swankier. Mark 5. That's a Mark 4, sorry. Same for the Blades of Chaos. And then Leviathan Axe, same sort of thing for you. Like, look at that. Look at that, like, upgrade. So, oh wait, hang on. You can't see it because of the text and shit. God damn it. Alright, and then Waist Armor. We can't do any more improvements to that, but we do get Steinborn? Interesting. Alright, what's the chest like then? I do like the chest. Gauntlets of Loyalty, Yarnum. Wait, where'd they go? There they are. Belt of Loyalty, Yarsanimi, Royal Thingamadiggy. So many different, like, things. Wild Howl, Drakey, the War Belt of Ares. honestly, would be very curious what that would look like on Kratos. Lundra's Lost Thingamadiggies, Belt of Radiance, Fatebreaker, Shoulder Straps of Loyalty, the Royal Thingamadoog. Alright, hang on. What does... Alright, so that's for Cloak of the Black Bear, Suitor, Berserker, Hunter, Dragon, Shoulder Guard of Undying, the Lost Thingamadiggy, Raven, Straps of Radiance, Fatebreaker. Alright, so Fatebreaker looks very much like the Survivors one. That was, you know, a given.
And the wheel of progress turns.
Nice. New labors.
I'm honored to bear witness to your journey here, Kratos.
Oh, we don't have any more new things from her. Okay.
Better yourself if and when you can, I always say.
Okay, so we're still a ways from completion, because that's 9. That's also 9. But yeah, let's increase the strength if we can.
Wise investment, brother.
Go. Because we're getting to a point where I need to be stronger. Alrighty, and then we've got all the spirit shit. Oh, resources. Hang on a second. Increases the chance of thingamadiggies in pots. Same as you. Seals in Valhalla's Trojan. With a large amount when... Yep. Cool. Alright, so we've maxed those 3. And... increase the thingamadiggy from moderate. Alright. Let's go with this one. And then increases our starting value, which is fine. Uses spirits. Fine, let's make some. Alright, let's hear your story, because I thought there would be more stories from the other Valkyrie, but tell us yours.
You may speak.
Early in my life, before I was a Valkyrie, I was a healer in a small village. My father trained me in the use of herbs and natural remedies. To him, coming from a long line of herbal healers, that was the only true medicine. But visiting the city, I saw healers who used magic. Only magic, to treat their patients. I'd seen it work. And work wonders. I tried to tell my father, but he said mage healing was against his philosophy. A dangerous shortcut that violated tradition. Being a good daughter, I respected his convictions. But that all changed when he took ill. That's a good place to stop for now. When you're further along on your journey, I'll share the next part of my story.
He's just like, Could you tell me more now? Alrighty. Alright, so for preparation, we've got defeating Tyr with Legacy, defeating Tyr with the Guardian and the Onslaught, completing 2 more labors, fully upgrading the strength or the defense, fully upgrading... Oh, strength and defense, sorry. And then fully upgrading health and rage. Purchase relic recharges, unlock all 13 relics, challenges, successfully lifted burdens, 5 out of 9 versus... Alright, and then those opening chests, pay the cost, opening sacrifices, Hell's Touch, Leviathan's Roar. We have so many of the blades to do. Finger of Ruin, Honor the Fallen. So, Honor the Fallen, Finger of Ruin for the Hell's Touch, Leviathan's Roar. Alright. And then for the labors, activating relics in battle, shield bash with the Onslaught, killing Hellwalkers, killing Elven, Each objective will, with bonus granted if all are completed, this labor and all of its will reset each time. So we need to clear the proving grounds, clear the Asian boat, defeat Tyr. Visit all the realms. We need to visit Muspelheim and Alfheim. Alright. And then the boat key. Alright. Yep, we're getting additional spirits for that one. We get additional mastery. These ones we need to defeat Tyr with. Let's go with the Onslaught Shield, because, like, we have some tasks that want us to shield bash with it. And Legacy. Hopefully those are... wait, hang on a second. So... Yep, Onslaught and Guardian for Tyr. Legacy for Tyr as well. Alrighty. Let's not die on this one. I'm really curious, like, hang on a second. Goals, labors. Use the blades of Chaos Slam, holding R2 while sprinting into combat. Grapples, returning winds. Shooting from the hill. Shield dash with the Onslaught. Shield dash is 16 of 20. Oh, well. Oh, wait, the combat. There we go. Drastically increases the power of freezing throws while wielding the blade. Stun grabbing an enemy against a grip to strength. Let's go for the seized strength. Let's go for the blades. Here we go. Go, and then... Quick and easy. Tame the Beast and Meteoric Slam. Let's go with Tame the Beast. I'm pretty sure I haven't used that one. Nah, it looks like I did use Tame the Beast before. Increase all stun damage inflicted. Increase the timing window of parries. I'm gonna go with the stun damage, because the spear allows me to take in, like, a element and shit. So... Oh, that's a new one. Is that Calliope or Calypso or Pandora?
A box full of evils. This one feels important.
Yep, this one
is
is...
your blacksmith story, isn't it? His girl was the key, and he died protecting her?
Protecting her from me. I opened that box seeking the means to kill Ares. And what I released.
Pretty much turned all the gods crazy.
They released all the evils of the world and they infected the gods.
Unfortunate. The time I spend in my own Valhalla means you get more time with him.
I wonder how he's gonna come to terms with that. The whole, you know, the events of God of War 1 are the reason why there's a God of War 2 and 3.
Kratos.
Alright,
How well did you know the
let's see what this is.
Pandora. She reminded me of my own daughter.
Hi there, Code. Welcome to the stream.
I'm sorry, Kratos. Even at your most vengeful, you must not have wanted to see harm come to her.
Pandora was innocent. The way she saw things.
Hey, we unlocked a new
Reach me
relic.
when few could. She deserved better than to be a pawn, sacrificed in a game of gods.
Your regret is palpable. But thank you for letting yourself remember. That is important.
So yeah, how's it going, Code? Welcome to the stream. Alright, get this. This is like the DLC for after the events of Ragnarok and such. It's roguelike. It's actually fairly fun. Oh, we can go straight to the... Alright, let's do that then. Let's see how we go. Bam. A wham, bam, sham. Let's go. EP, you had a night shift? Ah, okay.
Targets on the battlefield there. You're Bifrosted, brother. Stay alert. Valhalla keeps the score.
Honestly, Legacy, I feel like, is such a... Like, the rage I have with it lasts for so long. I feel it feels very unfair sometimes using it. Because I'm just, like, swinging as much as I want. Drastically increases the power of the Plume of Chaos. Heavy attacks at the end of the light combo, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, deals additional burn. Let's go for that one, yeah. Because stats aren't too big of an issue. We can go through this really fast if we wanted to. Because we got Valhalla's.
The way should be clear. Up and onward.
This. Blessing of Strength. Increase stun dealt. Nah, I'm just going to go for the Strength. You. What do you got?
I see you were thinking of taking on a burden.
Increases the rate at which rage is gained. Increase. Yeah, alright, let's go with this one. We don't have too many runic attacks, so that's fine. Alrighty. Dunk. Oh, break these pots so we can get echoes and all kinds of other nonsense. Do we have any doors available to us? No, we god damn it, Code! Not the cactar! What did I do to deserve this?
Limited time assistance, couldn't we?
Holding for several seconds grants a buff, increasing all for a short time. Alright, let's go for that one. That's honestly like a bit of a funky one. We'll give it a try. Dunk. And then dink. And then we head up to the higher levels of... Oh. This is our fight with Modi again.
Time to die.
Oh, it's Magni this time!
Nice,
Oh.
brother.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, there's a hi! Hi, unnamed. Welcome. Hi. Welcome, everyone. Happy Christmas. My name is Grant. I'm a variety himbo streamer. Unnamed, welcome. Thank you so much. I'm streaming in the middle of the day for myself. It's crazy. Absolutely insane. I was lurking in your channel for a little bit. How was the Mobile Suit Gundam? It looked like there was a... Oh, Jesus, my arms are doing a thing. I need to fix that. Oh my god, the leap motion is a little bit warm. God, I need, like, a lot of USB thingy-majiggies. You couldn't finish it? Oh. Hang on. There we go. But yeah, so... Right now, I am playing the free DLC that was released for God of War Ragnarok. So if you've not played God of War Ragnarok, or you haven't seen it, or you'd care for the spoilers, I would not recommend continue watching, because it does a little bit of a retrospective on Kratos through his like Greek mythology time, and you're going like repeatedly through like combats from both the Norse and the Greek creatures, and, you know, it makes references and yada yada. I would not recommend it. Hey, look. My chat, look at this. Look at that. Shy Black says, good. Last level, kicked their ass. Aw. PS4 decided to shit on me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm playing this on the PlayStation. On the PlayStation 5. This is how I'm playing it. So, but yeah, sorry to hear that the last mission, like, you know, didn't work out for you, but hopefully you'll get through it. Lord, for some reason, like a good night's sleep for some reason, and then you go into a fight, and it's like, oh, this took me 20 times to make some sort of progress. And then on the second or third go, you're just sort of like, oh, that works. So yeah. Hopefully you'll have a wonderful time. All right. Slam the ground to create an explosion of poison, leave behind a hazard, slashing for it. Nah, because I'm not using the relic that often. I'm about to leave, so no spoiler problems for me, not to worry. I thought I'd give you a little bit of time. Did you temp remove the zeebs and biggin? I remember you talk. Yes, I did. So a number of the redeems I would normally have, such as, like, if you want to embiggen me, you have to give 69 bits. If you want to de-himbo me, you give me 420 bits. There's no bit redeem for the shirt removal. That's being removed. There's no himbo cam. There's no cake cam. The reason for that is, like, even I've got Siri bot. I'm fairly certain...
you can't spell nutrition without nut, am I right?
Yeah. I'm fairly certain, like, if there was, like, a hate raid or, like, a huge number of following bots trying to get to me and what have you, like, Siri bot and a few of the things would, you know, help contain it and such, but I'd rather not invite that wrath. I am not a fan, and especially if it's like oh, congratulations, Grant, you got, like, 40,000 unique viewers or some shit. It's like, no, thank you. I don't want that, because that's going to ruin the stats, like, moving forward, and I'm just going to feel shitty about myself because I might forget that the only reason I ever got, like, a high number of viewers is because someone was like, look at this fucking furry. Look at him having fun without his shirt on. How dare he? How dare he expose his nippleless pecs on stream? We're going to raid into him. We're going to say how dumb he is and all these other kinds of slurs. Like, I didn't want that. So... Alrighty, Mountain Splitter or Scotty's Edge. Let's go for this. I'm gonna use the thing. Look at this muscly pecs, they inflate and it makes me feel like I hate that. Yeah, basically. Thingamadiggy of Strength. And then we heal, there we go. And we move on. So for those of you who care, we're in Valhalla, which is utilizing the memories... It's utilizing the memories of Kratos to create a series of, like, sort of challenges and such, and this whole reason for it, we were invited by Tyr to go through all this, because Freya wants to put us on her war council, or something like that. Or the New Gods Council, I should say, not war. They're not in the middle of war.
Opening the box was Athena's plan.
Attune to the memories, increasing its base damage.
Who would claim ignorance
Yep.
of the consequences of trusting Athena? Is that your idea of a joke, Kratos? Because I admit it's hilarious. But let's be honest.
Oh yeah, and that's Helios on our
Whether
back.
you should have suspected the consequences or not, you certainly can't claim that you would have cared about them. You wanted the power to kill Ares. And because you wanted it, everything is justified. That's your moral code at the end of the day, isn't it? To imagine you once again holding an office of solemn metaphysical responsibility. A trusted figure. A worshipped figure. The absolute gall of you to let yourself consider such a thing.
Yeah, so Helios is still mad with us for ripping his head off.
Something.
And his time with us and shit like that is brought into Valhalla and shit because memory and what have you. So yeah. Alright, let's see where this leads us. Let's see what the next memory is. Picking up an object of judgment. That is Pandora's statue. I thought it was Calliope at first, his daughter, but it's just Pandora.
I don't think you can be trusted to keep that safe at all.
Meanwhile, Helios is just being a bit of a dick. Alright, that's the third judgment. So that gets us to our third thingamadiggy. Hopefully I don't fuck this up. No Kratos, no Scry. What an interest. Pandora's statue. Another object from my past has manifested within Valhalla. This one is a replica of the statue I encountered in my search for Pandora's box. They were carved by the god Hephaestus, an attempt to recreate his daughter, Pandora. It brings back memories I would sooner forget. Yeah, because technically he's responsible for her imprisonment earlier on and all this kind of nonsense. Kratos was not a good person in the God of War trilogy when you look at his thingamadiggies out of context and shit. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I have, like, no fleeting echoes. I did not realize that. And it's annoying because there's this chest here, which... 15,000! Jesus Christ! Alright, how many thingamadiggies do you want me to have? Last time it was 5. I would not be surprised if it wants me to pick up 6. Oh. Another siren. Ooh, no. We're breaking the pots because they give us echoes and sometimes spirited mastery symbols. Go. And bonk.
Oh, not the song attack!
Daze is such an amazing ability. Like, or it's just an amazing, what's-a-mahoozy type, because it means...
Did you halfway? Centaur.
Ooh!
I don't usually get this close.
Oh.
Incoming charge. Seem depleted somehow.
Oop. Oh, I am nearly dead. This is gonna be a little bit difficult. But thankfully, if I end encounters, I should get... increases the base on his thingamajiggy. Let's go for the Blessing of Spirit. We're gonna need that. And our runic is disrupted as well, which means... Shimmering Wrists contain potent awards. Noted. It's gonna be a little bit problematic, I'm gonna be real with you. Go, open this. Okay, we need 6 of those. Alrighty, Hyunk. Let's try and go through these encounters as quickly as we can. Here's the first one.
Here's the one you have to get. We're on fire. That's a nice change of pace. Left side, you butcher. It's charging at us.
Oh.
Enjoying this, aren't you?
Oh. Okay, there we go. Resurrection Stone. I don't know who gave it to us, but... God damn this guy.
Look at you. Killed the right.
Nearly dead. Way more times. Barehanded parrying has a high longevity, lowering their power level. I am going to need that because the difficulty is just going to be increasing for a little bit, it seems. Thank you. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. Gotta move quickly. Alright, so the Aegean Sea door is nearby. Perk. Let's see, what do we get? Melee attacks against poison enemies do increase damage. That is gonna go well with the chance thingy-majiggy I've gotten. Hang on a sec, where is it, where is it, where is it? Tuning the thingy... Here it is. Barehanded attacks, parrying, and blocking have a high luck to deal bonus damage and poison enemies. There we go. There.
Great job not hurrying. You do like your fights tougher after all.
It's not what I wanted. Alrighty, fights. Let's go. There's the Aegean Sea. Alright, let's see how we do. So we need to get 4 of Valhalla's chosen thingy-madiggy. And we've... Go.
On your left. It's in the ground.
Oh, get off me, you piece of shit.
The link already. Watch from underneath. There, that's demoralizing. In the right side. Behind you, incoming!
Oh, goddamn. Alright, come on. Resurrection Stone, there we go. Not a lot of resurrection going off.
Watch from underneath!
Oh! 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes! Gold tier completed. Alright, new arena available. The Desert of Lost Souls can be found in the West Wing. Alright, Blessing of Serenity. Dressing increases when he's above 25. I am going to need the defense and the vitality, I'm sorry to say. Good lord, I survived that. Alright. I got 2 more Valhalla's Chosen to go through. Alrighty. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Who's here? Ah, thank you. Need that. Alright, let's try this.
Strike with your shield, damn it!
Go. Stop there.
Another weapon, idiot!
I gotta be a little bit fast, I'm sorry to say.
Now that's the Kratos that brought down Atlas.
The Kratos holding continues through evades and sends out a burst of sparks from its finisher. Let's go for that one. Thank you. Alright, timer extended. Let's see. Oop. Blessing of Brawn, Blessing of Essence. Alright, let's increase our luck. And we need to find one more,
Incoming dive!
Alright, we got rid of the Harpy. That's good. And we got... Alright, so we need to keep on going this way. We've got the A, G, and C.
Floating eyeball tentacles? No to this!
Fine. Oh, there's the A, G, and C. Nice.
Incoming right side!
Come on. There we are.
Crossfire on your right! Only getting harder as you delay, Kratos.
go.
That should be enough slaughter to earn your way up.
Breath of Thamar. Dodge rolling will hasten the expiration of status effects, increasing the runic. Alright, let's increase our runic. There we go. Time is extended, which is fantastic. Let's head to the AG. Why can't we get to the Aegean Sea? What's this one?
Incoming charge! Left side, murderer!
Oh. We didn't have any more resurrection stones because we used like both of them back at the thingamadiggy and stretching. Return to the shore. All right, I know my mistake on that one. I was in the lower tier and I just went straight to the difficult thing rather than like gaining more perks and what have you.
Funny when I'm not there to watch your back.
So yeah, I know exactly where I'm going wrong with this.
Paying off.
There.
A gift. One step closer to mastering Valhalla.
Lunda's lost armor.
I'll tell you more of my story now, if you care to hear it.
Yes, tell me more about the magic healings.
If you remember, my father had fallen ill.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad. An illness unknown to us. I offered to fetch the mage healer from the city, but my father refused. He insisted herbs were the only way to help him. You can guess what happened next.
He died.
He was gone before the spring. I was devastated. In time, I grew to hate my father's philosophy and dedicated myself to healing through magic. It was a blind rejection of an entire field, because I believed it failed my father, because I blamed his death on his faith. The truth is, I traded one limiting perspective for another, but I wasn't ready to see that yet. That's a good place to stop for now.
Fine by me. Alrighty. And new labors or new
More
completions?
things and more things to do. Check.
Nice. Some mastery seals, some spirit seals, new labors.
I see you made it count in there.
We did.
You waited.
This is for you.
The Undying Pyres.
Daring to
Nice.
face what others think is impossible. Shall I continue my story?
Yes, please.
Continue.
Sigrun, mightiest of the Valkyries, saw me in action and thought I had potential. Wanted to train me in the ways of the sisterhood. But I wasn't so sure. A knack for violence is one thing, but serving a higher cause, taking on the responsibility of choosing the slain, me, Gunnar of Blackheart Alley? For once, I hesitated. I couldn't make myself believe it. But Sigrun told me to put everything out of my mind to put the work. Mastering each new skill. Discovering what I was truly capable of through discipline and focus. Letting excellence be its own reward. Really opened my eyes. But we'll wrap it up next time, okay?
Okay. Alrighty.
And they say you can't buy self-improvement.
Alright, so we've gotten the maximum thingamadiggies. That might be useful trying to get up to advanced, because that gives us 10%, which I feel like is a worthwhile venture. And we can get it up to full with the resources we have. There we go. Legendary chests and rifts. Excellent. Yeah, let's go for more health. We're gonna need some of that. Oh, it required a lot of divine thingamadoog. All right, so we need 600. So we need 650 more mastery seals and 2 more divine triumphs to get the rest of our health done. Let's see, 85, 150, so that's 250, 450, 800, 1,100. All right, so probably 1,200 and 2, 3, and 3 more, like, thing. All right, so we've got a bit in each direction to go. Alright, so we can create some sanctuary barricades if we want. Moderate chance to offer 3 choices instead of 2. Chance of finding light runic attacks already upgraded level 2. Upper rem tablets. A lower chance for burden. Low chance of burdens to offer that. Increase the number of glyphs sold by the tablet in lower realms. Now stock 1 resurrection stone. To 3. 1,000, 1,700, 2,000, 2,100. Alright, so close, but no cigar. Honestly, that might be worth doing. And then this one... Amount of echoes earned. Most valuable resources in Valhalla. Enter the echoes. Maximize that, maximize that. So we maximized nearly most of this. 1... Yeah, let's increase the chances of our light runic attack like doing more for us, because quite frankly, like, you know, the likelihood of, because that will hopefully respawn like quicker and such. 1, 2, 3. Just so then that way we have those available to us for some of the other nonsense. A large increase in the amount of fleeting echoed from defeating. Very large, a massive increase. Yeah, let's go with large. Let's see how much it increases it by. Alrighty. Hi there, Masonic. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing alright. How are things? I am currently on, like, vacation mode, so the times you'll see me streaming are going to be random times in the week, if at all. Hi there, Plugthud. I don't know why Plugthud sounds... charge the sword to sacrifice health and deal damage based on the amount of health lost. Oh, fuck that noise. Create a thingy, create an aura, leave a hazard. Let's go with this weird thingamajiggy. Defeat tier with the onslaught shield, with the guardian or Spartan thingy. So 4 and 5. Alright, let's go with this one. It gives us more mastery seals. More mastery seals. You just woke up? Fair enough.
I must admit, Cedar, Valhalla isn't exactly what I imagined.
You're experiencing only a very small part of it. One that's independent and unconnected from the...
What happened? So, are you familiar with the God of War Ragnarok and, like, the Norse thingamajiggy? If you aren't, this is probably not a great time. So far, we're going through Valhalla as Kratos.
New arrivals run a gauntlet.
And we're currently running a gauntlet, as she's mentioning.
Version of what you're doing. It's meant to help the dead process the lives they lived.
Yeah.
Those who are worthy, who have found some measure of closure, are allowed to move forward. Those who are unable to resolve their lives are forever trapped in their personal Valhalla. Some just prefer to keep fighting here.
That is a very odd way of... Because Valhalla was supposed to be the quote-unquote, like, heaven for the Norse, and this interpretation here is a little more like hell in the good place, where it's like, oh, you're gonna need to learn... You're gonna need to learn how to get past your, like, self and your weaknesses. There we go. Slice that head. Break that. So yeah, this is probably going to be another, like, mini... This is going to be slightly low of a run as well. I'm probably not going to get all the way to tier with this one either. I'm kind of interested in garnering more stat and what have you. Plus, I'll probably make it that I abandon this run because I kind of want to go and grab lunch/dinner in a little bit. Drastically increase the power of the Pride of the Frost. What's Pride of the Frost? Throwing a spear will cause to form with a Ooh, I'll go with this. I very much like the spear. The spear is like my go-to a lot of the time. Alright, what's this? Another key.
Ah, the key again.
We will talk later.
Another key. Why another key? There we go. Alright. Let's see. Finger of Ruin. This one I needed to work on next. There we go. Increase the damage caused by the Extinguish Flame and Vaporize Frost skill. Increase the duration of all status effects applied by 50%. Let's go with the increased status effect thingy-ma-dig. Alrighty. Hey, another,
Now, back to Sigrun and your low opinion of yourself.
Look, brother, I don't apologize for wanting her to have someone who can be everything to her. She deserves the best.
Then why should she not deserve the smartest man alive?
Sometimes I think you've come too far, brother.
Did I overstep?
Oh no, Kratos. I appreciate your point.
Alright, we're not gonna go for that door because I've made that mistake last time. Instead... Wait, do I have a key for that? Oh yeah, I do have a key for this. Alright, let's see what this opens. Ooh. Hey, new armor! Nice! Nidavelir's finest armor. Nice. Alright. I can get behind that. More mastery seals, yes please. I know this is like very fast usage of the keys, but I think it's probably best that I try and use them as quickly as I can in some of the sanctuaries. So then that way when I revisit them, like with... when I revisit them again and what have you... Oh, damn it, I was hoping that would be a way out, but it isn't a way out. Fuck you. When I revisit them, they can be used for garnering either more perks or runic or what have you. Alright, I think this is the one we want. I think this is the one we want. Here we go. Still looking for a refill or a what's-mahoozy, a mixed.
Incoming! Above you!
Nice. There we go. So far, no damage yet. How is your morning, afternoon, evening going, Plug? Go. Alrighty. Encounter 3. 3 encounters to go with that thing. Drastically increases the power of the spear throw and the spear drill. Abso-fucking-lutely, because that's what I've been doing. Back into...
I think I know why I fight Thor's sons.
Do tell.
Like Atreus, they were children of a destroyer. Had I not changed, had I raised him as I was raised, subject only to authority, perhaps his fate would have been no better than theirs.
So, they reflect a bad road not taken, a fate avoided?
Perhaps. I also feel pity. Failed by their father, sent to die by their uncle, and belittled in death by their grandfather. What chance did they ever have?
Am I hearing guilt, brother?
Some.
Stats.
Perhaps
Let's go with
imagining
stats.
a fair fight is to honor them as life did not.
Alright. That should increase our stats when we complete them.
On your right!
Hello there, Jason. Welcome, welcome. How's it going? Probably gonna keep playing for a little while longer, and then I'll stop for lunch. There we go. How's it going, Jason? You're finally home? Yay! Yay! Welcome home. Hopefully you had an okay day. Let's see. Cooldown. Runic cooldown and luck increases by 2. I'm gonna go for those. Is there anything of interest? Alrighty, moving on. You've been away since Friday to your parents' place. Ah, okay. I'm gonna be hanging out with my mom and her side of the family over this weekend for Christmas, and I think I'm there until New Year's Day, basically, which is a little, like, I don't know if I want to be with them for that long, especially for, like, New Year's Eve / day, because that, I feel like, is more of a... That's more appropriate for, like, you know, party with friends and what have you.
Right flank, plus fire!
There we go, and we got them down in the health low enough for us to kill them. I think. And that's all of our... Where is he? Where's the dude trying to kill us now? There we go. Alright. Increases by moderate round. Let's go for the blessing. Been away since... Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I've got a bounty on that one. Interrupt the summoner.
Oh. That was annoying to deal with. Oh! Kill the bird. Saw you was on at 2 p.m., but I was on a train then. That's okay. I mentioned it like in like Twitter last night, and I mentioned it at the start. I don't have a proper plan for when I'm going to be streaming for the rest of the year. Oh, the only one that's like set in stone for me is D&D night with Code the Yoshi, because Code and I have been going through that for a while, and I figured out what we need to do with Shadowheart. Thankfully, I've gone into that like little shadow pit thingy-majiggy again after the work that we did in last week's stream, and I found out that, you know, how to do the things we want to do. So that's going to be great when we go around into it this Friday, if Code is still up for it. And yeah, and that will probably be like the last time I play, or sorry, not play, but the last time I stream this year until next year. So my only regret with the stream so far, from like, you know, the start of December to the end of the December, is just the fact that I don't have a Christmas hat on for all of this. That's my only regret so far with this month, is that, you know, I didn't get the time I wanted to do into the Christmas hat, because by the time I was on break, it's already the 18th, sorry? I was already the 18th, and it was like already halfway through the month, and I don't have free time anymore. Or let me rephrase that. Like, the free time I have is like a few days before I go off to see my mom and her side of the family for Christmas and what have you. So it's like not really worth.
Anything we need this moment.
Leviathan's Roar. Fingers of Ruin. Let's try this Leviathan. Let's upgrade that Leviathan's Roar. That's gonna be interesting. And then get a Blessing of Cooldown. Are you seeing your dad? I'll see him next year. Well, I already saw him today. He helped me get rid of my old mattress, which I really appreciate Tim helping me do. So I've already seen him today, like in the morning and such, but I'm not going to see him and his side of the family for Christmas. I'm seeing Mom and her side of the family is what's going on. I don't have a car, so I don't have the blessing of being able to like quickly go from like one side of Queensland to another. Ow.
Use a shield strike, brother.
There we go, giving us days. Go. Oh. Oh, god damn. Alright, yeah, she's trickier than... No, Jesus. Oh, they're all trickier. Oh, she's floating up in the air, so I can barely... Yeah, I might have the run end here. Yeah, I'm gonna have the run end here because, you know, I wasn't gonna do much better, and I was gonna enter into the upper echelons of Valhalla with, like, a very low amount of health, quite frankly. So yeah, probably gonna be playing this a little more off stream as well once I'm done with, like, lunch and such, but so many things I need to get through. Like, I need to get through the Final Fantasy XIV's Christmas thingy-majiggy. I need to get through,
Well, that route was exceptionally difficult. I hope you stick it out.
Go through more of Minecraft on Dazzy's server, go through more of Fortnite so I can get more levels and that way unlock Peter Griffin, because I feel like I'm not going to be happy with myself if I don't get Peter Griffin or Solid Snake when Solid Snake is available, like, next month or whenever. So, lots of things I need to do. And plus, I feel like we're currently at a point in the... Is there a way of me being able to save another... slot? No, there isn't another save slot for Valhalla. That's annoying. But yeah, so probably going to be playing this a little bit offline. Same as Final Fantasy, Fortnite, Minecraft, Yakuza. God, I've not gotten into Yakuza again this week. I need to do that at some point. Alrighty. I am going to end the stream here then. I'm going to end it here, so then that way I have time to, you know, have my lunch and enjoy it and what have you before it gets too late into the evening. Let's have a look who is online, shall we? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Who is around? I don't know. Full screen this. Let's see. Easy. Purple, Metasaur. Ooh, we got a number of different people. Man, we have so many more options when we decide to stream in the middle of the day. It's a little bit insane. Will you be back on? Probably not. Probably not tonight, quite frankly. I don't know. So, nah, probably not tonight. Alrighty, let's go for... Ooh! Purple Pardis is doing a Daki. Alright, we're gonna go right into Purple Pardis. Here we go, and we're gonna go with our classic raid message. Himbo raid, show us your cutest guys, gals, and non-binary pals, or prepare to get swole. That is gonna be our raid message as we go raid into this lovely, I think she's either a cow or a Tauren furry. One of the Tauren, I think she's Tauren. So, and she could do with a little pick-me-up. What if she... They're having a very funky conversation. Alrighty then. Alright, well, I will leave it there, and I don't know when I'll be streaming next time other than Friday, but thank you everyone who came along to this morning or this afternoon stream. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night wherever you are, and happy Christmas! Bye for now!